Welcome, mortal fools, to the most terrifying, spectacular show on Earth. Fasten your seatbelts and hold on tight, and take a ride with the Dark Carousel podcast. Welcome, mortals! Let's fucking ride! On the DCP!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to
the Dark Carousel podcast. Today, on this lovely episode of the Dark Carousel podcast,
we have a guest with us today. We're going to invite her on. But before we do that, we're going to give a big old shout out to Frankenfuel. They are sponsoring the Dark Carousel podcast. Now, I know it's like usually people that sponsor stuff. That's why you see it at the beginning of the intro. You usually have, stuff to say and how to say it, but we haven't got the drinks yet.
Yeah.
But once we get the drinks, we're going to promote it more.
Yeah.
A lot more. So shout out to Frankenfuel and for them to give us this opportunity, and just guys, check them out.
Yep.
Frankenfuel.com, and they are an amazing
guys.
company.
I mean, if you guys want to represent the show or whatever, or want to sponsor the show, just message us. I mean, we're down for all different sponsors. Whoever would love to sponsor is great. I mean, cool. So we're also talking to a couple other places right now that are interested in sponsors, so which is awesome. So again, more the merrier. I mean, it's cool. And again, we're new to it, so
We're learning.
So if anything, just hit us up and we'll talk about it and we'll figure some stuff out. I mean,
And then once things on a roll for like sponsors and stuff, and we'll promote it more. We'll give you a better understanding on stuff like codes for like 15% off and stuff. But it's a new thing. It's a new thing, a new journey for us, and we are going to do our best to promote other companies and other haunts and other fun stuff to help push them and stuff. And it's kind of overwhelming, but it's really exciting and such a damn good journey.
yeah.
So shout out to Frankenfuel for giving us this opportunity. We really appreciate you guys. It's the fucking haunt energy drink, guys. They have zero sugar and sugar drinks, and it's all haunt related. So definitely check them out. But anyways, today's episode is Mischief the Clown. Kelsey, is it Livengood? Or Living Good?
Living good, I think.
Chelsea Livengood. It doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter because she's also been in multiple films, like Clown Motel 1, 2. She was in the first one, too.
I thought it was 2.
I thought it was 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's going to tell us about it. She's a very recognizable clown. I've actually known her for quite some time when we were doing Clowns Gone Wild way back when. And, she just took off, and I went my own direction. And, years later, here we are, the black and pink queen of the clowns, Mischief. Everything that she's done, she's been in magazines, she's been in movies, amazing photo shoots. She's been working at a lot of different haunts and stuff and help promoting herself. And we're really excited to have her on because we want to hear her story about what this journey means to her. I'm really excited about it. Sorry if I seem a little discombobulated. Today's been kind of, honestly, the last 40 minutes have been kind of stressful, but you know what? It's 2 cups of coffee and an energy drink, man. My nerves are like a bass string right now.
Yeah.
But other than that, guys, I'm going to send her this lovely link.
Yeah.
And we're going to get her on. And she just seen it, so she'll be here in just a minute. Hi, guys.
Yeah, it's the lovely Zoom background until they join.
Yeah.
It's wild on how, it just multiplies and multiplies and multiplies.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's cool, though. I'm excited.
It's different.
Oh, man. Guys, we had a great time this week. Great time.
Yeah, we were just busy in general, just nonstop, and then it's slowed down a little bit, but we're still every week we got something going on at least one day a week. So
This is all new to us, so like we're just kind of. Again, we've done stuff like this before, but no one's really like reached out to us like people are now, and it feels great. It feels great. It feels so great. Oh man, but hopefully everybody's like having a great time, living their life, staying positive and everything, and just really, don't take anything for granted and just really roll with it. If you have an opportunity, take it. And I think that's the best thing about it. Feels good. Scary, but it feels good.
Yeah.
It's definitely nerve-wracking.
Definitely interested in what these drinks are going to taste like.
Yeah. I'm really, really pumped about that. I sent her the thing, so she should be joining any minute now. But it's a lot to take in. And, we're always up for new journeys and stuff, and it's just crazy. And here she is.
Da-da-da-da!
Hello. Hi.
Welcome to the Dark Carousel Podcast.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
What's up?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're awesome.
Another day above ground.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hey.
Unfortunately. Well, cool. Well, we are live and we're ready to go. I think this is exciting for us. I know you probably see yourself in the background. Here, Mr. Sweets.
I know. I'm going to drag it. I'm slowly moving stuff around.
You're
Cool.
good.
All right. Well, obviously you know who we are. We've known each other. We've known each other
Yep.
for a while.
For a minute.
And obviously my name's Arthur, and that's Steve. Snacks, Mrs. Sweets.
Hello.
And
Yep.
we're really excited to finally have you on the show. It was a long time coming. Don't know why it took so long, but here we are.
I don't know.
Well, again, I mean, you guys were always busy, especially back, when we were doing the Hellfire thing. Everybody was always busy. You guys were traveling constantly. And then, we were doing different haunts. We were doing different things. So it was always hard to really get everybody together to do shows and stuff like that. So it was understandable. And then, of course, we took a break for a little bit. And then, we just slowly got back into it and really been hitting it hard here lately. So like last week alone, we did, I don't know how many, like 2 or 3 shows. And then all day Saturday, we had a 12-hour photo shoot. So, yeah.
Very
Nice.
exciting.
So-
Very exciting. And kind of overwhelmed right now, but you know what? We're living life. Heart's beating a little too fast, but hopefully it slows down here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Too much coffee. But anyways, so let's start off with the show and telling us who you are as your clown persona and your real self, and start off with, the start, and then we'll start asking questions.
Sure. My name is Kelsey Livengood, or most of you know me as Mischief the Clown. I kind of started way, way long ago, before the internet, really. 14 years old at haunted houses, and kind of spiraled into what it is now. So currently I am an actress, a haunter, a sideshow performer, a model, a photographer.
Busy.
Jane of all trades, master of none.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, I remember joining the Clowns Gone Wild thing. That was exciting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was my first journey in the lovely internet clown world. Did not know what it was.
Hey, I talked to your wifey, and she did approve. She said you could join the show.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So
She gave approval.
it was really back then. What was that? 2018, 17, one of those.
Mhm.
But it was like, okay, the fuck do I do now? But that's when I really, like dove deep in the aspect of haunting, was realizing that there's more to this, which was a big help for you guys, because I didn't know anything about this world. This world's crazy. This world
We
is,
didn't really know either. We were just out there winging it.
yeah, and you guys just took off. You guys started doing your own thing, and then when it came to like, were you working at a haunted house then?
Back in what was that, 2017?
Like 17,
Yeah.
18?
Yeah, Mischief was born probably 2016. And then I got really bored is what happened after haunt season that year. And I said, well, who says I can only put Mischief on in October?
Yeah.
I do my own
Exactly.
makeup. So I just put my face on and then decided to go live on Facebook, and it kind of took off. And the person I was with at the time also was on Facebook doing the same thing. And then we became a couple, and then we were online for a long time together. And then that ended about 4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've definitely seen you not just at like conventions or like magazines. I've also seen you at like multiple haunted houses too. And on DVDs and the movies and stuff like Clown Motel.
Yep.
Wow, wild. Now, were you in the first one or is it just the second and third one?
Second and third one.
So you know Beth Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, she used to be one of our makeup artists at Land. And
okay, she did the effects for Day of the Cicada, which is another film.
Yeah, we've known her for I've known her for quite some time, but it's just really cool that everybody.
It's just a small world.
It's a small world. Crazy.
It really is.
Crazy lady. Love her to death. Love her to death. She's so awesome. Now, what really got you interested in, this journey?
Honestly, I don't know. It grew into something I never thought that it would. Being in film was not ever on my radar.
Yeah.
I've always done musicals and theater and that kind of thing. And Clown Motel 2 was my first film. And that was totally by accident. I do graphic design as well. I made a fake poster with my partner and I on it, and just posted it and said Clown Motel 2 coming soon to a theater near you. It was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
And the director sent me a message, and I thought for sure it was going to be a cease and desist. 100%. I thought that's what it was going to be. And he said, no, I love it. Do you guys want to roll in Clown Motel 2? I said, yeah, absolutely. And then went on set, and that was a totally different animal than anything I've ever experienced. And once I did that, it was like directors were reaching out to me to do roles, and now I audition regularly. So it's definitely not a path I thought it would take, but I'm very happy with it. It's very fun. Yeah. I enjoy it a lot.
See, and I think that's the crazy part about this journey, that a lot of people, a lot of normal people don't understand that haunting can take you some weird places. Mm-hmm. Some strange places, and you meet a lot of strange fucking people too. But but a lot of them, you got good hearts, and sometimes you got bad hearts.
But we've been lucky for the most part. Most of the people that we've met have been pretty good for the most part, and then plus when we do go to the conventions and stuff like that, and we run into them. They've been pretty cool. So it's worked out.
It's kind of nerve-wracking, honestly. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's just like one of those things where it's like, okay, let me rub my face real quick. I gotta figure out what the fuck I'm at, and then you just like.
Well, it's like our last interview, like we just did. We just did an interview with Woods of Terror with Bone Daddy, and that was awesome. And he's been awesome since. I mean, we're working on some stuff with him now, so that was pretty cool. And it's like, wow, so it's opening doorways. So we're definitely enjoying getting to reach out to everybody and all these actors and owners, and it's just everybody's been, I don't know how you want to. They've been awesome. They've
been noticing us, which is crazy.
And also they're even inviting us. They're wanting us to come out, and it's like that's even better. But unfortunately, our work schedules are so hectic. It's like trying to squeeze in the Dark Carousel show and do our normal work schedule, and then still trying to find time to travel. It's just
it's again it's overwhelming. Definitely.
It's a lot.
So
it's a lot of things to coordinate.
It really is, but it's also one of those things. It's like we wanted this. Now people are really recognizing and seeing us, what we're doing. It's like, okay, calm down. Here comes the anxiety. What do I fucking do? All right, let me breathe for a second. Calm down. It's like, I don't know. It's just wild. So anyways, what really got you what inspired you the most to have the most a really iconic makeup style that you do?
I don't know. I really like the messy, not really put together. I mean, it obviously has a look to it. It looks the same almost every time. But it's very dirty and grungy, and I didn't want it to be perfect because I cannot for the life of me, symmetry is not my friend. I can't.
Same.
I can't do it. I don't know. Which is why, the shapes don't match on either side. Nothing matches
It don't
at all.
have to be perfect.
Just Yeah.
As long as it makes
Um,
sense, and it does.
Right. And if you look on my Facebook page, there's years of like weird ass makeup before I decided like this was the face.
Mm.
And sometimes I look at those and I go, ooh, that was a bad choice. Ooh, that was a bad choice. And then I kind of, went for something that it looks messy, but it's also clean at the same time. Like it doesn't look like it's done sloppy, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's part of the journey.
But it was definitely like, I just kind of kept playing with it. Just the more smeary it got, the more I kind of liked it, and just started. The only thing that stays the same is like the line work. So like the triangle at the top and the line here, and then like this line on this side. That's the only thing that really stays the same every time. Everything else is kind of whatever I feel like doing.
Right. No, I feel
for
that.
that particular moment in time.
Now, when it comes to like putting on the makeup, do you have like a ritual or like something that really just drives you to, like, let's say you're going out to like, I've seen you at Woods Terror on pictures and videos and stuff. What really drives you to do that?
So my ritual is I have a playlist, and my playlist is the most ADHD thing you'll ever listen to. We can go from musicals to death metal to some gangster rap, kind of just a little bit of everything. But when I do her makeup, it's a little more. I like to call it circus metal. So like Raven Black, Samantha Lee, I think it's her name, is another one. I like a lot of like Pucifer,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I listen to while I'm getting ready.
something to just really get you going.
And then it kind of just depends on like what I'm doing. If I'm just doing my makeup like for a show, like for a podcast, like today I listened to my Flow playlist, which is just kind of nice, and there's like sweater weathers on there, and a little In This Moment, just something a little more relaxed. But if I'm going to a haunt to go like scare some people, yeah, it's usually about like chopping up bodies and rage.
What the fuck is wrong with us?
Know.
We're like, okay, well, man, it's like, 1 minute you're at a family gathering, you're sitting there talking to your family, and then all of a sudden you're in a car listening about dismembering bodies. It's like, all right, this is fucking weird. I was just holding my 10-month-old nephew, and here I am talking about ripping body parts in half. Like, the fuck's wrong with us? That's
Everything.
oh god, yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's like the haunt world is such a huge community that people don't realize, and it changes so many people's lives. I know damn well it changed your life. I know damn well it changed my life, and just to have a story with it makes it so much better. The people that you meet, the people that you argue with, the customers you get in a fight with, the customers that you have a blast with. It's just they're stored memories, and it's always in your brain. Have you ever had a moment where you physically had to just like sit and realize, look around and be like, holy shit, what am I doing with myself? In a good way though. Like, I
don't know. I'm trying to think. I've always been so authentically myself. Like I've never, I mean, my parents are proud of me, don't get me wrong. But there are some times where they kind of look at me like, what the hell? What are you doing? Like, is this a career that will take you until you're 80, 90 years old? Like when does it stop?
Yeah.
When do you decide that the end of the road is your end of the road? I told my mom I'll be in an electric wheelchair chasing kids around,
But honestly, I think
I don't ever plan on
I think
not.
a lot of people are like that though, because like you said, like even my parents, they are like, why are you doing this? I mean, sure, it's fine if it's like just something to do here and there as a hobby and stuff like that. But now that we've been doing this since 18, they've seen what we started from and what we're at now. And they're starting to realize, okay, this could be something, and it's just like, and now that you start to get notoriety, and they see the work that you've done. It's like, just for example, real quick, the photo shoot we just did this weekend, just some of the photos that we've already done and edited, and we've posted already on Instagram and some of the other platforms. I get messages and texts like, dude, who did that? It's like,
are you guys all right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, well, we did, and they're like, that's awesome. And I was like, well, thanks. I was like, it's because we came so far. No, we're wrong. Phones and technology has came a long way too. So that helps.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
and that's like the coolest thing about like what he said with the phones and stuff. Like, You can do so much with today's technology, which is scary. It's really scary.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for what we did this weekend at the Killer Clowns at Land of Illusion, you know, we proved to ourselves this is completely fucking new for us. Let's do it. You know, we took it, we got an opportunity, we took it. You know, we took 8 hours to do all these photos, all these videos and stuff. And after doing a few editings and you know, really diving deep with this stuff, and I made that like 30-second video of us being in the chain maze, and I just watched it. I'm like, bro, this is fucking cool. This is really cool. We can do more than just do like. There's just so much opportunities.
Yeah.
So how
100%.
so when it came to like doing the modeling in the magazines and stuff, since we're in the phone subject, how did people reach out to you to join them on the journey of being in photo shoots and magazines and stuff?
So they didn't. That was fully, I was paying a photographer monthly for just different pictures of Mischief. I kind of would come up with 3 or 4 themes for each shoot, and then we would just go shoot. And I did that for a couple of years. We did a photo shoot every month. And then I said, well, I've got all these great photos just sitting around. And so I just submitted to a few magazines. Misfit magazine, I was on their cover for, I think, 2020 or 2021.
Issue 53.
Yeah.
We've
Done
our
I
research.
sent in my stuff. Yeah, I just sent in my stuff, and I got a message, I think, like 2 days before it dropped. And she said, congratulations, you've been chosen for the cover, which means you have a front and a back and a 6-page spread. So we need you to like do this interview really fast. If you could type it over and send it to us. I said, that's crazy. Cool.
Now, like in that actual moment where you finally get a response back, like what did that make you feel like?
Oh my gosh, like so good. You know, I'm very humble. I don't think I'm anything like super special, you know. So I said, oh, that's cool. The other people think I'm cool. Sometimes I feel like I'm a kid playing dress up at home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously fully an adult,
Yes.
like way beyond an adult. But sometimes I feel like I'm just an adult that plays dress up at home. So for that, it felt really validating for me that all of my hard work people are paying attention and people are thinking that it's very cool, you know, the things that I'm doing. So it pushed me to do more, you know, send into more magazines and things like that.
Cool. And it gives you like a huge confidence boost. And it's just like one of those things where you're like, again, you're stepping back and you're like, holy shit. All right. If I can do this, it means I can do anything, you know? And I think that's like the, you know, the positivity that was thrown at you. And, you know, it gave you that self-confidence where it's like, you know what, fuck everybody else. I'm going to do me. And I think that's really cool because you express it. You're not afraid and you just do it. And I think that's what really stands out with you because like you're you and you're showing you. You're not showing a fake persona. You are showing yourself in every picture that you have. And that's one thing that is really cool about any haunt industry and somebody that's a true haunter that's not putting on a fake mask. You're going out there as yourself. And I think that's probably the most remarkable thing of any haunter out there that really represents the haunt community and is not afraid to show who they really are. So thank you for that one. I really do appreciate that because I really want people to understand that the haunt community it's more than just a hobby. It's a lifestyle. You know, I mean, I got kids. Don't you have kids?
Yep, I do.
You got kids?
Yep, I have 11-year-old twins.
But how do they feel about it?
I got 12-year-old twins, boy and a girl.
Dude, I have a boy and a girl also.
Yeah.
And it's just
and then I said, that's it.
Yeah.
And
Hear that.
your kids look at you and you're like, dude, my parents are badass. This is cool.
Yeah, they definitely love it. And they're not fazed by it at this point in the game. I've been doing it as long as they've been alive. So I'll walk out with my makeup on. They're like, hi, Mom.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, how's it going?
I love it. And it's like you're not only like inspiring like all these people around the world, you're inspiring your family. And it's like you if you really put your heart to it and your dedication, you can actually do anything you really want. Don't let
100%. And that's what I tell people, especially the ones that are trying to be like the influencer haunter. I've been seeing it more and more lately. I always tell them, if you're going into this just to do it willy-nilly, halfway, you're not going to get where you want to go. You have to work it like a job. I had a full-time job, when I started doing this. I was doing photography at like JCPenney. And so one day I just said, you know what? I need to quit, and I need to put like 100% into this and just see where it goes. It was scary as hell for a few years, for sure.
I believe it.
I was still doing like my own photography on the side, but I didn't have like a 9 to 5. So it was, we were putting 100% into this and, still supplementing with photography. But I mean, you have to throw your entire being into it. Otherwise it's not going to go where you want it to go.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to, back to the like haunted house, like subject, what haunted houses have you worked and which one is your favorite?
I have worked, so my 2 home haunts where I live in Omaha, Nebraska. So Ranch of Terror in Bellevue, and then Mystery Manor, which unfortunately is closed now. But those were my home haunts here. And then I've been to Basement of the Dead in Chicago, Woods of Terror, Lake Hickory, Houston Scream Fest, which I don't think they're around anymore either. But those are quite the few that I've been to. But Woods of Terror is by far my favorite. It's such a family-oriented group of people. Yeah. You feel like, even if you're brand new, you feel like you've been a part of the family for your whole life.
Yeah, I think that's just
very, and they're very respectful. I've never had any issues with Midway monsters out there ever. Yeah. We joint scare and it's great, and nobody's like gets mad if a scare gets accidentally.
So is that a yearly thing for you now? You go out there at least once a year now?
Yep, and this season I'll be there all month, all of October. I will be guest performing with Dead City Circus Sideshow. Yeah. So I'll be doing Sideshow there all month.
Eddie was telling us a little bit about it. He was telling us all the people that he was booking, throughout, because he said in September they're just going to do Saturdays. Yep.
Yeah.
And then October he's going to do Fridays and Saturdays during October. But yeah, he was just kind of telling me, like, I forgot what number he said. He had 60 or 70 something people he's already booked, guest performers to come out and stuff, which was pretty wild. Then he was telling us about DCC, how they got their own little thing going on as well out there, which is pretty cool. So I'm glad to see that he's continuously growing and he's bringing in all these acts and stuff. And, of course, he invited us to come out, too, and I told him, I was like, dude, that'd be awesome. Again, we'll just have to see how our schedules work out. So we told him we'd keep him informed. But so
let's hope so. I'd like to meet you guys in person at some point.
It would be cool.
Well, again, that was the other thing, too. I told him because, he was wanting to meet up, because he goes to Transworld as well. And this year we were at Transworld, and we saw his booth, but he himself, I forgot where he was out running around, too, because he was busy talking with people, too. So unfortunately, we didn't get to talk to him then. But again, we told him, this coming year, next Transworld, hopefully we'll get together then and talk some more about some stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
And I think that's just
well, dang, I missed y'all at Transworld. I was there.
Well,
see, we're missing everybody.
Well, I also think the reason why it was like that is because when him and I took like a 1.5 to 2 year break, everything just went quiet. So we were just back to Arthur and Steve for a while. But now since we got back from Transworld, like him and I sat down and talked to each other, and it's like, bro, we got something that is in the basement right now, literally in the basement. It's time to bring it back upstairs.
And it's weird how it worked because, like, Facebook was, like, where we were at for the longest time, but then we started realizing...
Facebook is fucking trash!
Yeah, Facebook just...
Sorry.
Facebook just, like, literally, it screwed us over on a lot of things because we had, like, over 11,000 followers on Facebook, but then every time we would do a show on Facebook, you'd get 5 people. There's no way. That's physically impossible. And then come to find out, they just block your stuff unless you want to pay stuff.
Yeah.
So then we kind of slowly, went away from Facebook, and we were just trying other things that just didn't seem like they were working. And then we found out, it's like, you know what? If we do off Spotify and then just publish it and let it go out to the other platforms automatically, then it kind of works out. Now, granted, Spotify right now is the only one that actually shows the video part. Everything else is just, audio. So we're even trying to branch out to YouTube and slowly put stuff off on YouTube and see how that works. But I don't really know much about YouTube. I mean,
the hard platform.
Yeah, the hard platform. So
very
it is hard. It is a hard platform. That's probably my worst platform out of all of the platforms. Yeah, and it's just so hard. It's so hard to catch on YouTube. I don't know why.
I think it's like their algorithm is like
Mhm.
so far advanced than like, because like honestly, like Instagram was man, I just glitched out there for a second. What the fuck was that? Sorry. I noticed like when we started on Instagram, we had photos, we had numbers and stuff, but I never really understood the algorithm. But then I really started focusing. I'm like, I figured it out. This ain't too bad. And then like TikTok is used to be my big platform. I used to go live there all the time, like on my normal account. Like it's like over like 6,000 followers. But I used to also play video games and do live shit. But Instagram is where you can meet and connect with people.
I'm just getting into Instagram. I've had it this whole time. I just haven't really like focused on it.
Yeah.
But the last 6 months, I'm trying. I don't get how it works either.
It's really confusing, and but it's also, if you're just active, I think people will notice on that.
Yeah, I have noticed that. As long as I post something like once a day,
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
it gets seen. Yeah.
Now, what really the name? Where did it come from? Like what's the little backstory on that?
So I was at Ranch of Terror at the time, and I was their everything manager, basically inside manager, makeup, costumes, you name it. I was running it. And the person above me said, "Hey, we have a new girl in the clown room. She needs help." I said, "Absolutely not. No." And he's like, "What?" I said, "No." And I'm always the one that I'll go anywhere in the haunted house. I don't care at all. I think I was in the asylum at the time when this happened. And I said, being a clown sounds really stupid. I really don't want to do it. And he said, "It's just one night. You'll be fine." So I said, "Fine." So I go up there and I say, "Hey, what's your name? Your clown name?" And she said, "Trouble." So I pulled out my phone and I typed other words for trouble. Mischief was the first suggestion. I said, "Mischief's kind of cute. Okay, cool. Now we have to have a backstory." And she kind of just looks at me, deer in the headlights. I said, "Well, how are you supposed to believe that you're this character, right? Unless you know where she comes from, who she is, you know." So she says, "I don't know." I said, "Well, let's figure something out." She's the total opposite of me. She's maybe 80 pounds, soaking wet, brunette. And I said, "We were twins." She kind of looked at me and she said, "Okay." I said, "Conjoined twins."
There you go.
And she still looked at me like I was crazy. I said, "But it has to be somewhere non-lethal, when we were separated." So we decided on the big toe. We were connected to the big toe. And I would carry her around like a backpack or like upside down, and we would chase people. And needless to say, obviously I never stopped putting the clown paint on. I said, being a clown is so much fun. There's like there's nothing you can't say.
No, because
really, I mean, a clown can pretty much say whatever they want to say.
Yeah, because we're all bipolar. We have to have a little bit of schizophrenia in us, just a little bit, and I think that's pretty cool. Now, other than Mischief, have you ever portrayed a different character?
I have on the Trans World floor a couple of times. This last year, I portrayed a male character, silent male character. So much fun. So much fun. Nobody knew who I was. I don't know if you guys know who Chris Holcomb is. He's a photographer in the community. But I was doing a photo shoot with Dante Delamore, who's another photographer. And I said, "Ew, is that Chris?" You can't really hear because it looks like a jester's mask, in the front. And he turns around and he says, "Who said that?" And I just went like this. And then went on shooting. And then I posted those pictures online that night, and he sent me a message and he said, "Never in a million years would I have guessed that it was you under that."
That's so funny.
I said, "I know. How fun is that? I love that."
No, I think that's pretty cool. Especially like I did that last year at my haunt, and it was our last weekend, and I didn't tell anybody. I told everybody after I get done doing makeup, I'm gonna have to go to work. So what I did actually was get in my car and just drive up a ways a little bit, get out of my car, found myself a little room where nobody's seen me, and then I went I went full Ghostface, well, Doofy from Scary Movie, and I just snuck into the haunt, and every haunt over like 100 people were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Because I would bother people on purpose. I would terrorize these people, and they're like, "Dude, who are you?" And I would never answer. I wouldn't say a fucking thing. I just go on
But
with
I'm a
my way.
menace.
Yeah, I'm just a little menace. You don't know who I am. And that blew people's minds, especially when I took off the mask. They're like, bro, what the fuck? I didn't know that was you. It's like, yeah, man. I don't have to tell you shit.
Exactly. It's so fun. I said I thought I really liked makeup. You know, that's why I never went with a mask, is because I like change.
Yeah.
I like to change things up. I get bored really easy. So over the years I kept going, well, should I get a mask for when I don't really feel like doing makeup? And every time I would get almost to this close to buying a mask, I wouldn't do it. Nope.
It's see when I with the mask aspect, I know Mr. Sweets loves the mask and stuff. I like doing both. I like really I don't know how to explain it.
See, he gets away with it because he's also does makeup at our haunt too, so he can get away with
Right.
it. Me, every time like any other actor tries to do makeup, the makeup police come running and complaining. Well, you're supposed to come and see us. No, no.
It's fun because like I'm very expressive with my facial features, and I think that really works with me. And then when it comes to like doing mask, it's really hard for me to do the mask sometimes because I have to really feel it out, especially for one of my characters, Mortis. He's a very, very silent character. So I use my body language. But he's also very slow. He doesn't run. He stalks. And he watches you. And he makes you feel very, very uncomfortable. Like, I'm watching you, but I'm not near you kind of situation. So I love that aspect of really getting inside people's minds and stuff. Have you ever portrayed like a silent character before?
Just that one at Transworld. And it was so, like I said, it was so much fun. We kept laughing. I'm 5'5".
Mhm.
I don't know why, but everyone in the haunt community thinks I'm super tall. Newsflash, I'm not. I'm 5'5". That was the most, well, not a compliment, but like people were saying to me at Transworld the whole weekend. They're like, "You're so much shorter than I thought you would be."
How dare you?
Yeah.
How
I said,
dare you?
yes, I stopped growing in 8th grade. I don't know what to tell you. So I'm going, you know, it was kind of like a military outfit. So it's, you know, like a tactical vest, long sleeves, and then like, you know, kind of like a faceless face, and then these giant, kind of like a jester hat, but not really, more like straight.
I think we've seen her.
You probably did. I had a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was over by the
Yep.
concession stand, wasn't it? In the back corner?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That was you. That's crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so wild.
And so I thought I looked so cool, right, the whole weekend. And then I don't know if you guys watch Carpetbagger, but Carpetbagger took a video of me. He came around the corner, and so he's farther away from me. And I look so tiny compared to like the mannequins I'm standing next to.
Yeah.
They're like this much taller than me, and I said I look so short.
That's
I
so
said, "Hey,
funny.
Short King!" I had this girl walk by, and she stopped what she was doing. It was the weirdest thing. I said, "Is this how? Do men get hit on this like this all the time? I don't know." But I was standing there holding my gun, and this girl's walking towards me. She's also in a costume, and she stops, looks me up and down, winks, and like waved and left. And I look over at Kate from DCC, and she's in a costume also, and she just goes.
Yeah.
I said, "I'm glad you witnessed that, because that was the weirdest thing I've ever witnessed in my whole life." I said, she does not know who's under here.
Yeah.
I do not have the correct parts that she thinks that I have.
You never know these days. They might be into whatever they can get.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I was like, wow. Okay.
Well, speaking about like, you know, awkward situations, has anything like ever like what's your most grossest moment you've ever had as a haunt actress that you performed?
Probably last year at Woods. I'm very good at improv. I really have. I'm never at a loss for words. I always can come up with something super quick. But this one, I really had to think about what I was going to say. It was a group of teenagers. They're sitting at like this little like picnic table, and I kind of sit on the table, and I start talking to them, and I ended up stapling my arm. I do, like I said, sideshow. So I do like a pin cushion with money, and I have them staple it, and we're talking, and this kid goes, "Hey." So what? He said, "Are you a cougar?" And so I had to, I stopped, and I said, "What?" And he said, "Are you a cougar?" I said, obviously I'm not a cat.
Uh-huh.
Like top of my head, I'm like, no, I'm definitely not a cat. And so Hatter walks up about that time. She goes, hey, what are you doing? I said, well, this weird kid just asked me if I was a cougar. She puts her hands on her hips and she looks at me and goes, you're obviously not a cat. I said, that's what I said. And then she goes, that's so weird. And she got everybody around. She said, this kid's a weirdo. Everybody boo him. And they did.
Mm.
And then the girl that was sitting next to him goes, why do you do sideshow? And I said, why do you think I do sideshow? And she said, I don't know. And her boyfriend goes, what, you don't want to staple your arm? And she's like, no. I said, do you know why you don't want to staple your arm? And she's like, why? I said, because your parents loved you.
Mm.
And I walked away.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, kids are fucking weird.
They get weirder every year, I feel like.
And they're
Dude, I'm telling you what though, but it's to the point where every year when I do find the weird ones, especially since we roam at our park,
Yeah.
we're not stuck in a house. In our park, it has 6 different haunts. So we actually are roaming just the grounds, kind of like Midway.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we always, every year, it's like we might as well have a competition on who's going to win the weirdest award this year, because you get some weird ones. But I make it a goal now. If you're going to get weird with me, I'm going to get weird with you, and I'm going to end up embarrassing you and having fun with it at least.
I bulldozed kitty litter into my mouth, and I didn't know it was throw up.
Mm.
I ate a Rocket Woods last year. That was an interesting. I mean, you guys know you're a character. Once you get in,
Yeah.
It's hard.
sometimes you have no control over what you're doing at all.
Man.
At least in my case,
That was
she just kind of just does what she wants.
We were haunting out of porta potties.
Yeah, and greeting people, like that was fun. But like my mistake is like I was too into my character, where I lost myself, and you know, I did my thing, and I'm walking down the thing, and I'm screaming, and I'm acting like a drunk maniac, and I found a pile of kitty litter. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, dude! So I just bulldozed it with my mouth and chewed it and spit it out, and I was still in character, and the barkeeper people were like gagging. I'm like, I'm just all part of the show, man. And then as I went behind the scenes and I just went back to my normal self for a second,
There's not enough mouthwash.
and they're like, you realize that was throw up? And I'm like, no, I didn't know. But it definitely turned some stomachs, and then it really fucked me up a little bit. But now I know, just like if I see random kitty litter, not to bulldoze it no more. So I'm gonna stay away from that. But it was cool. I did something completely disgusting and definitely got some attention. So
Yeah.
fuck that stuff. Yeah, I've done some crazy stuff. I'm not too proud of the stuff that I've done. You know, I went, I almost completely nude one time where I was wearing Ninja Turtle underwear, and I hiked the underwear up my ass, and I had one of the makeup artists a long time ago paint a turtle shell on my back, and they called me Clownatello, and I stuffed a sock to make stuff more protruded, and I was asking everybody where my baby was. So I don't know what I was doing, but apparently people loved it, so I didn't care. But on a different note, what is the most important thing to tell anybody that's starting the haunt industry on?
Just do it. Like, just do it. Don't be scared to do it. If you don't know where to go, look up some haunts in your area, and just do it. Don't be scared to do it. And if you feel silly, you're doing it right, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And at some point, you forget, and you don't care that you feel silly, and you just go full send.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're gonna do it, just do it. Don't do it with hesitation. Just do it.
Yeah. Were you nervous when you first went out there on the floor?
No.
Good.
No, I was such a weird kid. I spent my whole life scaring my parents, like around the house. I would hide like in the dryer, under the sink, just wherever. I mean, I started really early. I started at 13. But at home, I was scaring my parents from like 9 years old on. When I did it once on accident and my dad screamed like a girl, I said, that was the greatest feeling of my whole life. I said, I just want to keep doing that. And then we went through a haunted house. I think it was Rancho Terror, actually. And I loved it so much. As soon as we got out of there, I said, I have to find out right now how I can do this here.
Yeah.
And my parents said, Yes, please. Thank God.
Leave us
Go scare
alone.
somebody else besides us, please.
Like you're giving me an opportunity to scare you guys better now.
Yeah.
So sorry.
They didn't know that.
No, not at all. What is one? Do you have any injuries that you've has happened to you while acting?
Yep. Just in the last few years, I'm telling you, the older we get,
Accident
the
prone.
more haunting kicks my ass. I don't know what it is, but I feel beat up almost after every night now. But a couple years ago, because after my split with the original person I was with, I took about a 1.5-year hiatus. I just could not find like the get up and go to go haunt. And I was really afraid that I wouldn't be perceived as well alone as I was as a duo. So I ended up going to woods. It was fine, obviously. But I have EDS, so that's like a connective tissue disorder. So all of my joints pop in and out of place. Makes me very bendy, but also very fragile at the same time. I had went, their midway is all, it's not gravel. It's a little bit bigger than gravel, probably rocks out, this big. And I wasn't even doing anything. I did a little happy hop, like kids do, hopscotch kind of thing over this tiny little door frame. And I landed and my back crunched and I had like this hot pain across my hip. And I said, did I just break? I didn't even do anything. Did I just break my hip? First night back at haunting, I didn't. But the next day I couldn't walk at all. It was terrible. I took probably 2,000 milligrams of ibuprofen. And I got back out there and did it like 2 more nights. And then for a week I couldn't walk. So I went back to the chiropractor. I said, hey, I need you to look at this. I don't know if I just popped something out of place weird or what. And he looks and he's like, nothing is broken. But everybody has like what's called a sac in your hip. And so what happened was when it popped out and came back in, it pinched it and just made it really mad.
Yeah.
So, I said, cool. Yay for being over 30. We love it.
Yeah, it's so fucking terrible. Yeah, that's why I don't really like slide as much. Like this year, I'm gonna slide this year, but
No, he's not.
I have to make
Don't
sure
listen to him.
it's gonna happen.
I do it by myself every year. His back can't handle it. He'll do it one night and then he'll be done for the rest of the season.
Well, fuck you.
I would probably be the same way, so don't feel bad.
It hurts so bad because like my knees are just bad anyways, and my back is just not my best friend no more. And I have to just I have to slowly do it.
And I'm the old man. That's the funny thing. People, and that's another thing too. When you're out acting and running around, people don't believe you on how like older people do this. They act like I'm like, oh no, you're like only your teenager. No, I'm old man. I'm in my 40s or kid. And then like one lady, she's like, oh, prove it. Well, normally sometimes during the haunt season, depending on what mask I'm wearing, some masks I can wear my beard longer. Sometimes some masks won't allow it, but normally it's a little longer. Anyhow, one night I got mad, and normally I don't break character, but I got mad because this lady was like, call me a liar pretty much, and she wouldn't leave it be. So finally I flipped it up, and she saw the white, and she was like, oh my God,
I'm an old fucker.
I'm old. Get over it,
It's okay.
But then,
Why would you lie about being like in your 40s? So that's just
I know,
like
and the thing is, people
lie
don't.
about.
They think haunt itself. You got to be a kid to do haunt. No,
It's because like say you have 100 people that start in their teens, right?
Yeah.
By the time you're in your 30s, from that original group, you maybe have 3 or 4 that
Same
hung
people.
with it and are still doing it. So it makes sense why people would think that, because it is mostly younger people. Us older people are just crazy.
Well,
Yes,
when
we are.
it's
Everybody
like
else
a lot of
decided they stopped
people,
doing it a while ago.
a lot of people have problems believing that I've been doing it for over 30 years. There's like, oh, there's no way, yeah. I've been doing it a long time. I've worked at a lot of places and seen a lot of stuff, but a lot of people just are amazed, like, dude, who could do that long? And don't get me wrong, it's not like you do it every day, but it's like, every year we have seasons, and then, of course, as we did Dark Carousel, we've been doing it, pretty much all year long. We travel and, do stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, in and out for 30 years. I mean, it's been a long time, and it's been fun. Again, a lot of experience, but Dark Carousel is definitely where it took off for us, and with more notoriety. So
Yeah, and it's scary. And when you started to get publicity, how did you feel about that?
It's weird, and I still find it weird. I get booked at like conventions as a guest, right? And every time anyone says celebrity, I always go,
Sure.
They're like, what do you mean? I said, well, I've been in 30 projects, but I still don't feel like feel like I'm pretty new
Yeah.
at this acting thing. And so I don't see myself as a celebrity. I think it's weird that other people do.
No, I get
But
that.
I don't know. I'm still weird about it.
I feel that. Yeah, it's definitely just one of those things where like, like him and I, like we're at a point where people are. I don't know why the fuck it took so damn long, but people are just like.
Well, again, like you said earlier, today alone was a weird day for us, and it's a good thing. It's not nothing bad. It was a weird day because the way people reached out of nowhere and offering things is like it's cool, but we didn't even know how to. We're new to this, we don't know how to do this or that, and we just done shows, and acting. We don't know anything about the business side of it, so it's like you're gonna have to give us a little breather here to explain this to us,
Yeah,
right.
like hold me down, pour water on me because I need to breathe for a second.
Yeah.
So like he said, like when you started to get a little bit publicity and stuff, where you were just like, what do I do from here? Like what do you want me to do? Is it just dance monkey, or is it just more of a okay, I'm gonna roll with it? Did it like boost your confidence, or did it really just like did you just like and just walk forward?
It definitely helped with my confidence for sure. But like I said, I just was like, okay, cool, thanks. And I make what I want. I definitely don't let anybody tell me what I can and can't make. So, as far as the fans, some of them are weird.
I believe
we
it.
all know. There's some weird people out there. But I kind of just make what I want. And if people don't like it, okay, you don't have to like it. That's fine. I do it for me. 90% of the time, everything I post is for me.
Yeah.
So if I like it and I liked it enough to post it, then cool. And if you guys like it, then cool. But if you don't like it, also cool.
Yeah.
It's a free country. You can follow me or not follow me. I don't care.
That's the biggest thing. What is like one of your biggest dream collabs in the haunt world, or in movies, or in photo magazines?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I didn't study for this pop quiz.
It's okay. We didn't either. We just go for it.
I don't know. I don't know. It's so weird. Everyone asks me like what my goals are too, like as far as movies and stuff go. I don't. I didn't plan to live past 18, to be honest. You know what I mean? So the fact that I'm 30 and still here is great. So for me, I just whatever happens, great. I've had a lot of great experiences already. I've worked with like Lynn Lowry. She was in Shivers. She's a wonderful, wonderful human. She's in her 80s and still acting and filming. I've learned a lot from her. But as far as like wants, Terrifier. I've worked with Dave already. I've worked with Dave in the Dead Place, which will come out hopefully this year. Fingers crossed. But I would love to be in Terrifier 4. That's that and Final Destination 7 are both very high on my list. Not probable. Very high on
But you
my
never
list.
know. To be killed by Art the Clown? Oh, God. Destroy me in all many ways you can. I don't care.
Yes. And he's the sweetest human being. He's like the total opposite.
I know, and I think that's
of Art the
scary.
Clown.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is kind of scary. He's so he does talk in the Dead Place. He's kind of got this like New Jersey, like evil Gilbert Gottfried almost voice.
Oh.
It's the craziest thing. It's very cool. But I actually do a double role in that film. So I'm a teacher for a lot of the film, and then I am Mischief in a nightmare scene.
Okay.
So I become David's accomplice. So he is the villain for the film. And so I kind of become his accomplice in this nightmare scene. And that was so much fun. So much blood, like gallons of blood in a middle school hallway.
Cool.
So
Worth
good.
it. Worth it. Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah. I love Terrifier, all the Terrifier films. And, the third one, it was funny because I went to the movie theaters with my old lady, and she was a nurse. Well, now she was going to school for a nurse. So she's seen like the, oh my God, the cadavers and stuff and classes and stuff.
Right.
And I've walked into one of her classes before to shadow her, and I seen the cadavers and stuff. I did not handle it well. Okay. She was all about it. But, when Terrifier came out and we went to go see that, she was cringing like a motherfucker. And I'm sitting here like eating the popcorn.
That is weird on how certain things do affect people like that, because there's some movies that some of our friends have showed us that were pretty hardcore, and I'm like,
and we're all just like, yes,
yeah, and then
yes,
like our friend, I call him, he's demented in some ways because he does watch some sick films, and again, this stuff was hardcore, but he looked at us and he's like, usually by this part, most people are telling me, no, we're turning this off, and we watched the whole thing with him, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty hardcore, but okay, next, and he's like, okay, you're all right,
You're all right.
yeah, you passed the test if you watch this film with me.
Definitely a fucking that what was that movie called? American Guinea Pig.
Yeah, American Guinea Pig.
I forget what it was, but anyways, yeah, those films are crazy as hell.
Yeah.
So let's just say this: in the next 5 years, where would you like to see yourself?
Just still grinding, still putting out content, still doing films, still modeling. I'm gonna do it as long as I can.
Good.
Haunting, I don't think I'll ever quit.
Good.
I think I'll be an 80-year-old lady chasing people on my electric scooter. I really wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah, you have to. You have to like really.
Hey, I'm trying to get Miss California to move out closer to us so we can, collab and do some stuff. But she's being difficult.
Yeah, trust me, I tried to get her to move out of there.
I don't know. She keeps saying if they do, they're going to go to Tennessee, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's probably where she would.
Typically we do an hour show, so we always end the show with one last question. In your own details and perspective, what does haunting mean to you?
For me, it means community and a place that you can truly be yourself and no one is going to look at you like you're weird. The patrons might, but the other people that are with you are just as weird.
Yes, yeah.
So it makes it very comfortable to be 100% you, 100%, crazy. It's definitely, it's a family for sure. It's a family of a bunch of weirdos and I love it.
It is. And what's cool about asking that question to everybody we've interviewed and stuff, it's almost about the same thing. I say it on every episode, and I'm going to continue to say it because it's like our little slogan.
It's his new one.
It's my new one, and I love it, and everybody else loves it. But, we weren't born monsters. We were made. 100%. We are who we are, and if you do not accept it, guess what? I'm going to continue to walk forward, and eventually I'm going to run, and you can't stop me kind of situation. Yes, we get into some dark minds. Yes, we go a little bit, stir crazy. And, sometimes we, eat kitty litter or get called a cougar. And it's just those moments where it's like, I did that. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why these people called me this. But deep inside, you're like, well, fuck yeah, I did this. I did this. And you can look back and you can share it with your family, share it with your kids, anybody, and you have stories. And I think that's the most important thing about living in this world is if you want to live a good life, make sure you write a story. Because eventually when you get older, you can tell anybody about this story. You are your own book.
For sure. I am definitely writing a book. Once I retire, I'm writing.
It's gonna be a really fucked up book.
It's gonna be a really fucked up book.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Now, before we get off, do you have anything to say to anybody about upcoming events with you, or anything to let people know, or little shout outs, or just something?
Sure. You can pretty much find where I'm going to be at on facebook.com/Mischief the Clown. That has pretty much everything where I'm going to be. I update Facebook more. Facebook and Instagram, either one of those. You can find where I'm going to be, what I'm doing, what films I'll be in. Allmylinks.com/Mischief the Clown official has all of my socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, IMDb, all sorts of fun goodies there. Some free films that are available to watch are on that as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you have any other questions for her?
No.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm really excited to hear about your story, and maybe in the future we'll do another segment where we can dive a little bit more deeper inside of that brain of yours, because I know there's definitely a lot of stories up there. And do you have any questions for us or anything?
I don't think so. I was just really excited to see that you guys were still going.
We ain't stopping.
You guys had liked something of mine. I don't know what happened. You guys popped up on my Instagram, and I said, "Hey, hell yeah!"
Yeah.
I'm so glad they're still doing it.
We're not stopping, and I think that's the biggest part about this journey is, we did take a little break, but low key we didn't stop. We still
And sometimes you have to take a break, and that is totally okay to do. Like I said, I took a break. I took a couple year hiatus off of haunting. I still was present on the internet, but I wasn't, I wasn't doing haunts.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to take that break for yourself. A mental break it's nothing to be ashamed of and nothing to shy away from. If your body is telling you that you need to take a break, then take a break.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else, Steve?
That's it.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time
Yep.
and actually just coming up on a show, shooting the shit.
Spit it.
Jesus Christ. Shooting the shit with us for a little bit.
I am not shitting the shoot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate this so much. And we'll be posting this probably within the next hour or two.
Yeah.
And then we'll send you the links and go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Awesome. Fantastic. Guys, that was Mischief the Clown. Go follow her on all major platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, IMDb as Kelsey Livengood. And just check her movies out. Clown Motel 2, Clown Motel 3, and all the other fun stuff and events. She's going to do a movie with David Howard Thornton, if it comes out, like she said. That's cool.
Well, I mean, hopefully everything works out good. I mean,
Everybody loves blood. I love blood. Makes me excited.
Yep.
Guys, go follow her.
Yep.
Great lady. I've known so much about her for 4 or 5 years, and it was great. She just wrote thank you to us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go follow her on Mischief the Clown Official on Instagram. She has so many photos of her journey and how she really stepped up into this haunt world of being who she is, and she's not afraid. I think that's the greatest thing about it. And a big old shout out to Woods of Terror, big old shout out to Land of Illusion, and a big old shout out to Franken Fuel for actually officially saying that hold on, Mischief, I'll call you right back. She's calling. Absolutely love the fact that Franken Fuel has given us the opportunity of finally getting us a sponsor, and hopefully by our next episode we'll actually have the cans to present it and show you guys. Guys, go follow them on Instagram, go to their website, and go check out their energy drinks, and go from there and just buy their product. I promise you, it will feel the haunt heart. Anything for you? Anything for you? No, motherfucker. All right, guys. My name, Mischief. It's a little hot down here today for some reason. Usually it's cold. My name is Arthur. I also go by Snags. That is Steve, and he also goes by Mr. Sweets. And if you guys don't understand who we are, you're going to fucking find out. And one thing we got to tell you.
You want one, bub?
Yeah, I always want one. Always want one. Carousel never stops spinning, guys. And guess what? Stay spooky, stay classy, and have a great day, guys. Yeah, too.
This ride on the dark carousel may be over.